Alright, hello. I know I promised to deny this video, but I low-key cannot take the fact that I'm blind, which should be fixed soon. But I also had to farm some Incarnon weapons and showcase them as early as possible, so here we are. I can tell you that I will start first with the Prisma Obex, and this might be the most broken melee Incarnon that has ever been in Warframe ever. It is so insane for so many reasons, and I can tell you right now, Kratos is dead. You remember this thing? You remember how everyone likes to use this to move around fast and shit? Dead. This thing is taking its place. And it's for two reasons. The first reason is that when you upgrade it, here you get parkour velocity, and it also has another evolution which provides it even more parkour velocity. In total, the Praetos gave you a parkour velocity of 30%, and this thing gives you a parkour velocity of 60%. So you are super fast with it. But it gets worse. It gets really worse. Because what this weapon does on its Incarnon form is that if you perform a finisher strike, then you also perform a large radial attack around the finisher strike, which also works with its specific augment entropy detonation. Now you may see this build, it looks super weird, scuffed, like whatever, but there is something crazy going on in the background of this build, and I will just straight up show it so you guys can see it. So if we just take this whatever and we just spawn enemies, we can easily charge this Incarnon form weapon whatever by just hitting for a bit because of all the modes that give us, you know, melee combo counter. Now it's primed, we have the Incarnon form whatever. So normally you would want to have something like Vazarin, anything to open these guys to finishers, but there is something better you can do actually. If these guys are open to Parazone finishers, you can just execute them. And it activates the melee weapon and its Incarnon form and deals AoE damage to everything around it. As you can see, it almost kills level 200 heavy gunners on its own, which is pretty crazy. But it gets worse. It scales with Roar. This is by far the most insane, broken Incarnon I've ever seen in my life. Not only do you use this, like a Praetos, you get the parkour velocity and you can farm the parkour velocity very easily. This 16 finishers, which you want to do because obviously this is just a nuke on a finisher attack. Not only this, but like you don't even need to do anything specific. You don't need to go Vazarin. You don't need to have something to open them up to finishers. You just need to hit a Parazone finisher. And even if you don't have something to open them up to finishers, this thing has an evolution that actually provides it the ability to open someone to finishers, if you wish to. You just don't need it. As long as you do a Parazone finisher, it just nukes everything around it. It's so broken. It's actually, like, I saw the description of all the Incarnons before today, because today we got all the Incarnons, and I swear, I was like seeing the description and it says like on finishers do a radial attack, and I was like, this shit is gonna be so ass, bro. Like on finishers do a radial attack. That nobody will use this. And I was so unbelievably wrong. My goodness, this is the most busted melee Incarnon ever. This is insane. This is like, you need this. Like you need this, and this can work with a normal Obex too. You don't necessarily need the Prisma Obex for this, because if you see my build, I'm not even building for damage. All I'm doing is have attack speed, more attack speed, additional combo count chance, finisher damage, and just crit damage to buff the finisher damage. Which, it doesn't really matter. You can replace all these critical damage stuff with Bane modes, because Roar is a Bane mode. So if you have something like a Smite mode in there, you could legit do, like, you could legit do this on this weapon. This works. Like, this is how dumb this weapon is. You could legit, like, go full Smite modes on this weapon, entropy detonation and just attack speed, and it just works. Like, damn. And I will prove that it works by just not adding roar this time, and this guy should die. Yeah, look at that. These guys are out of range, that's why they didn't die, but anything that's in range just dies. Look at that. It's so unreal. It's actually so unreal. This Incarnon, like, who thought about this? You can prime, or you can use a stat stick on your own Parazon? Like, what? This is crazy. And then, like, if you Parazon finisher, you proc Hit and Run, which gives you crazy parkour speed. You can proc Power Drain, which gives you ability strength, out of sights, like, blinds you, or you can even go invisible with, like, another one that I don't even remember. Like, there is so much things. Untraceable, yeah, like, you can do untraceable and just, oh no, that's after hacking, never mind. But you can easily just do, like, hard reset for your pet, runtime here. Like, god, this is just so crazy. I did not believe that this is just this strong. It's so strong. But now that I've talked about this and showcased this, let's showcase the Incarnon Evos a bit. We showed this already. On the second Invo, we have the parkour velocity, which is what I suggest everyone picking, because it's 40% parkour velocity at max stacks, and this is 20%, so you get 60% total. Praetos is 30%, this is double that, so it goes crazy when you stack it. 1.2 range if you want to use it as a regular melee. And finally, combo timer pauses when the weapon is holstered. I don't really like this one. I don't think it's very good. Then we have base critical damage multiplier, which is what I use since finisher damage. If you do finishers, you automatically crit. So you only scale your critical damage scales your actual finisher damage. And then you have base status chance. This is if you want to do just straight up melee. And then you have critical chance and base status chance. So all these three are good. This is just really, really good for the finisher build, and this is why I picked it. And again, this build, you know, normally I had some critical damage things here, but I could low-key just stick with this. Like, I don't think this is a bad idea. I might low-key just take this. It's fine. The 3 smite modes on a single bid. Like, yeah, never seen that before. Probably will never do it again on any other weapon, but it is what it is. Let's do the Destreza next. Let's do the evolutions from the start. This is one of the craziest evos for this thing, where you get plus status chance for each puncture status effect. You want this because this weapon is like the melee Dori weapon, and this just boosts melee Dori even further. And you have on heavy attack kill, get heavy attack wind up speed. Like, this is still good, but I don't really think it's needed, especially because, I mean, you have the Tanokai attacks. They have enough wind up speed. You can do amalgam organ shatter, and then you have even more if you need to, but yeah, I don't think it's needed. Then this one must have plus range. I absolutely love range, and it's one of the more useful stats on this weapon. Heavy attack efficiency, again, Tanokai, I don't think it's needed. And initial combo, Tanokai, I don't think it's needed. And finally here, status chance. I think this is the best one because it will just push the damage provided by melee Dori. But you can also do base critical chance increase depending on how much status chance you have on the weapon, which is pretty good, since you can take the weapon to a absolutely ridiculous 57% critical chance on its own, or you can increase its base critical damage, which isn't as good if you go Dori as you do this, but if you go for something else, then you might want to think about this one or this one. These are both really, really good. Final build here, this, you know, just amalgam organ shatter over this. It's not even that good, honestly. Like, I'm gaining basically 20% critical chance. The critical damage, the critical chance isn't that useful, although it's good, but it's not that crazy. Maybe for the heavy attacks, but overall I'm already red critting so much that I don't think it matters so much. But this goes crazy here. The melee Dori value you get from this Incarnon is really, really good, and the damage of it is really insane. Now, what does the Destreza Incarnon actually do? So obviously, you know, as a damage weapon, as a damage dealing weapon, it was already really good before. Now its heavy attacks hurt. But thankfully, when you Incarnon it, its heavy attacks hurt a lot more. Because when you heavy attack in this weapon, it does a wave forward that damages anything it touches. On what I've seen is gonna be a close to 20-meter radius. And I don't know if it's a wave or it's some spectral daggers that appear in front of you. I think you actually like spawn spectral daggers or something, from what I can tell. And they travel for like 20 meters and hit everything in front of you, which is pretty cool. But all of these spectral daggers deal really good damage, and its idea is basically that you have increased range on the weapon so you can use it. Like, if I go here and I use it, boom, we still kill normally. So just a wider angle of attack using the spectral daggers, so you can do more damage. They also deal guaranteed slash proc, so they hurt a lot. They're generally really strong. This is a very interesting Incarnon. Damage-wise, like single target damage, it's absolutely nuts. If you want to do multi-target melee or something, then I wouldn't suggest it. But if you like rapiers in general, or rapiers, sorry, if you like rapiers in general, and you like the Destreza, this Incarnon is absolutely amazing for it. I'm a big fan of it personally, because obviously, first of all, if we look top right, we see a 26.4 melee dodie, and it still increases because, from what I understand, when you are in Incarnon form, when you kill with a heavy attack, it still generates you some puncture damage or some base damage. I don't even know, but as you can see, my melee dodie stacks keep increasing for some reason. And they will keep increasing until they're at 27.1, which is pretty nuts. Like, 27.1 critical damage from melee dodie by just attacking. That is fucking nuts. Like, so much critical damage, guaranteed slash procs, doing everything, kills really quickly, really good. Like the Destreza Prime a lot. I don't know if you should pick it first alongside the Obex, because in my opinion you must pick the Obex first. The Obex is just, it's so unbelievably powerful. It will become my default melee weapon for anything. Which also I forgot, by the way. Wait, I forgot about this. I'm gonna go back for just a second because I forgot. This works on it. Like, wait. If I get the Incarnon form of the Obex, right? And I just shoot someone like in the middle here with this. And I use my alt fire on them. It works. It just works. Like, this is so good. Like, I love this. I love this so much. The Obex Incarnon is crazy. Okay, anyways, enough with Obex Slays. Let's move to the next. Ballistica Prime. I think if I were to pick my second weapon, knowing that what every weapon picks, it would either be this or the Vectis. But I think this, if you wanna just focus on the strength of a weapon, I would definitely pick this. The Ballistica, it has some issues right now. It blinds anyone that uses it. And if you're watching this, please don't be very close to your screens when I am showcasing the weapon, because it is very blinding. It is very blinding regardless of energy color. Even if you do completely black energy color, which makes the ghost invisible, this is still somehow like really blinding. And I have my GPU particles only at 40%, like from 200%, which is maximum. So bear in mind that. Now, the evolutions, we have this. On punch through hits, generate critical chance. I really like this. And I would pick this, but I don't really need the fire rate. But if you want the fire rate, this is just fire rate on headshot. It's really nice. The punch through hits, so you get critical chance. Critical chance is amazing, obviously. This is 80% critical chance that's modded. It's not flat, it's modded, but it's still 80% critical chance. The real issue arises at the fact that you have to get a punch through hit, and to get a punch through hit, you need to actually charge the regular firing mode of the weapon. I don't even know if it works on the Incarnon at all, but if you don't charge the regular firing mode on the weapon, it doesn't punch through at all. So keep that in mind. Then projectile speed, or accuracy, weapon recoil, and then reload speed. I don't have recoil anyway, so projectile speed is, in my opinion, must have here. And then for the last one, we have either critical chance and critical damage, status chance on Incarnon form and critical chance, or much more status chance. And this one, if you have a Riven for critical damage and no critical chance or something like that, you can do Enervate, go this, and look at this. 100%, over 100% status chance on the Incarnon form. And also the Incarnon form, I don't know if you see this, it has 1082 base damage. This base damage is nuts. It's also silent, so you can freely use this with Ivara if you want. But 1082 damage, it's like, holy shit. Just holy shit. I don't have a Riven on this weapon, by the way. And immediately when the weapons came out, and like 1 hour after, I saw the trade shot being flooded with Ballistica Ribbons. And I can tell you why. This Incarnon form is busted. Like, its damage is not fair. Yeah, I'm blinded by the lights, don't mind me. Look at this. Like, holy shit. Okay. Hide. Okay. Yeah. Its damage is nuts. The Ballistica Prime has so much damage. I don't even think my build is max, by the way. I just think this is like, this is the standard build I was using before. I do think with Enervate and a good Riven mode, this can get crazy. But I saw it immediately. The moment I started using it, I was like, yeah, this weapon is not fair, bro. Like, it has so much damage, but it does blind you, so keep that in mind. Keep that in mind when using this weapon. If you do Dark Energy Color, it still blinds you. I'm serious. I don't know why. D needs to fix that. But other than that, the Ballistica Prime, definitely the second strongest Incarnon we have this week on the rotation we have. And I would definitely suggest it alongside the Prisma Obex if you just want the two most powerful weapons and you're not looking for something specific. Like, this is probably top 3, maybe top 5 best secondary weapons in the game now, the Ballistica Prime. And in terms of DPS on the Incarnon form, it can rival things like the dual Toxicist. It just deals that much damage. Like, I have a Riven on my dual Toxicist, no Riven on this one. And I can feel that this one is like really close to the damage of the dual Toxicist without a Riven. It is so strong. So yeah, definitely suggest it. I had a feeling this was gonna be powerful, and yeah, it did deliver. It is very powerful. Moving on, Stug. The Stug, I think this one might be the weakest one, sadly, and I don't think it's bad, but I still think it's the weakest one. Hold up, I have Prime Flow. Okay, perfect. So. Why do I need Prime Flow, by the way? Because the two evolutions, one gives it 175% damage, or sorry, 175 damage flat, my bad. And it also gives it 15% multi-shot, which stacks up to 10 times when you fire the weapon. No, I'm blind, it gives 5% multi-shot. I'm very sorry, I'm online on Warframe Market, fuck. Anyways, yeah, I fucked up. I could have sold the Prisma Obex. Remember when I got 13 Prisma Obexes, by the way? Yeah, it was very worth it. I have sold like 10 already for 65 plat each, and I don't even think people realize how broken the Obex is. They don't even know about the tech, so the price is gonna skyrocket, and I am terribly sorry about it, but the weapon is just too fucking good. It's legit too good. Back to the Stug. The one Evo, 175 damage, and on firing you get multi-shot. I misread this because I'm blind, I still don't have my glasses, so you'll have to excuse me on that one. But 50% multi-shot, you know, not bad, but kinda whatever. The second Evo, on the other hand, gives 300 damage, it's almost double. And it also provides a blast radius if you have energy above 700. So, if you have a Warframe with high energy, and you just use Flow, or you use something like Arcane Battery, you can easily reach this goal and just benefit from extra blast radius. And this is the only Incarnon that actually provides blast radius to its attacks. It is pretty noticeable. It does provide some really decent blast radius, and this can cover a big area, especially when paired with Prime Fulmination like I have. And I think it's worth, definitely. Then we have either projectile speed, reload speed, or on reload from empty, increase base magazine capacity by +10. Now, I like this, don't get me wrong, but you're definitely gonna stack your entire magazine before you ever need to like just keep shooting with the regular form instead of the Incarnon. You always want to be in Incarnon form on this weapon. And finally, we have increased base status chance by +20% and effect doubles in Incarnon form, or increase base critical chance and critical damage, or increase base critical damage and status chance. I chose this not because I am a fan of status chance or anything, but because I feel like on the Stug you would just want to do secondary innervate, benefit from the status chance by going corrosive, electricity, magnetic, so having 3 ways to actually benefit the electricity damage coming from magnetic and the electricity proc itself, and just armor shaping with the innate corrosive the Stag already has. And then you just benefit from the crit damage from magnetic mites and primary target cracker, and just use enervate for the critical chance. That was my idea, at least. I'm not sure if this is the best build you can do, but this is what worked best for me personally. So overall, if I'm being honest, one thing is that the Stug doesn't have an alt fire anymore. It used to, but not anymore, sadly. But what it does have now is a decent damage. The already known Incarnon form is like okay, but Incarnon form, it kinda goes stupid with how much damage numbers it puts out. And you might be thinking like, this is not great, but this is just a really lazy AoE weapon that you can just shoot on the ground and just watch it do its thing. Because if I let it go now, it will keep doing its thing because it just multiplies the bubbles. You see these bubbles that just jump around and explode? This is what the Stug Incarnon does. It just multiplies itself and just random bubbles explode all the time. It's kind of like the Trumna alt fire, but way smaller and just with more bounces. Is it good? I think not, but I can see this being really strong with the Riven mode or with the specific Warframe weapon combination. Have you tried Ash Finisher with the teleport? They're talking about the Obex. No, but it should work. I don't see why it wouldn't work, so yeah. Anything goes. I wonder if Ash's 4th ability works with it. Hold up. Good call, Intensify. Nice idea. Let's see if Ash's 4th ability works for some reason with the finisher attack. Because at this point, anything could fucking work. I don't know. Alright. So let's do the 3 first. So of course, when you do 3 and they're on Parazon level, they will die. But I wonder if I can bring him low enough so I can do my 4th ability. That's kind of what I want to test. Oh my god. That's better. Okay. Doesn't seem like it's working. I think the Stug did the thing. Yeah, that definitely killed. Okay, so his 3rd ability works, his 4th ability doesn't. Okay, got it. Would be fun, but sadly, no. It's fine. Anyways, Stug, pretty good. I think the weakest of them all is still a meme weapon, kinda. I don't think it's overpowered or anything. I think with the Riven mode, you can get it to be really cool. And I think with Mirage, you can get it to have carnage on the screen, and that's really funny. So if you want a fun Incarnon, you can definitely pick this up and have a lot of fun with it. I don't know about this being like too powerful though. I think it's just a very normal middle of the line Incarnon that a lot of people will love because it's funny, quirky, and a lot of people will hate because it's sadly not as powerful as they would expect. But I still think it's pretty cool. Finally, the Vectis, which got teased alongside the Stug. This one has changed a bit visually, which I'm very pleased about because the balls were kind of too big and obscuring vision, and I'm really happy about that. We have seen what this does in the dev stream, and you will see what it does right now if you haven't seen it from the dev stream. But let's go through the Evos first. We have two here, which is really interesting because this Evo gives you just 20% multi-shot if no enemies are within 5 meters of you, but it also gives you only 100 damage as opposed to this evolution, which gives you 200 damage and also provides punch through, which is amazing for snipers. So I am not sure why this is even a choice, but sure. Then we have excuse me. Then we have weapon recoil, or reduce the chance an enemy will hear gunfire by 100%. This basically makes the weapon silent, and that's really good if you want to run this weapon with something like an Ivara, or you want to run this weapon for something like, you know, just hunting and opening Riven modes or something like that. Usually that's really nice for just sniping people away without alerting, and a lot of people might find this very useful. But this one basically turns it into a machine gun. Like, if you wanted to just go primed chamber and max that shit out as much as possible, then this is the evolution you would pick. But this evolution is basically just a free fire rate increase. It's really powerful, so definitely picking this one. Finally, the last Evo, we have either headshot damage, which from what I can tell is multiplicative to the headshot multipliers that Vectis already has, so this is actually more powerful than this evolution from my testings at least, and that's quite impressive to be honest, but obviously you will need to hit the headshot. And then finally you have an evolution that increases the base status chance of the weapon by 30% of the current critical chance up to 40% extra status chance, which would take the weapon to a base status chance of 70% if you could max this out, which is pretty crazy. So I have seen some crazy builds from this weapon. This is the build that I ended up with. I have two of them, one here and one here. This one is for the status chance evolution that I'm showcasing right now, and this one is for the headshot multiplier evolution. So we're gonna see both of them, but this one first because I think it's way more impressive and way more nice looking. But also fucked up. I need to respawn them. Give me a second. I know this video is only on Sim, and I'm really sorry about that, but showcasing all of these weapons like one by one on missions would take forever, and I think this is way more coherent. So damage wise, the Vectis has always been amazing in my opinion, and with this build it's not really different, but the Incarnon form, yeah, the debilitate stacks, procs blast, add some DOTs to the target, goes crazy. It is absolutely wild, and it just deals a ton of damage, especially if you add roar into the mix. If you add roar into the mix, it just gets stupid. Like, if we add roar, then not only is our blast doing more damage, but everything else from debilitate is also triple dipping. So the damage suddenly just goes stupid, like so insane. And this becomes basically a sort of skillful AoE weapon. Like, you hit headshots and you get some crazy AoE. Prime Firestorm is actually a game changer on the Vectis Incarnon, and I didn't expect this to be so powerful and so much better with Prime Firestorm in, but it's honestly just like, the difference is astronomical. It is quite a lot. Like, it's quite the big difference. I really love this build with the debilitate build, and I think this one is better for like 99% of the content you do. But if you want to keep the identity of the sniper that the Vectis already has, then you would go for something like this build. This build definitely delivers more of a punch to single target enemies, but obviously not as powerful as the other build for, you know, just AoE. So as you can see, this one shots all around, and the blast procs, they go really hard. And especially if you decide to add roar to this, you can get some nutty blast procs. Like, damn. So yeah, very powerful. Definitely either this or the Ballistica as the second choice. it depends on which weapon you like the most, and of course which weapon you have, because both the Ballistica and the Vectis, the Prime variants, are vaulted. So if you have one and you don't have the other, you might want to focus on that Incarnon instead of the other and just focus on that. About the Prisma Obex, Barity Tier brought it not too long ago, so it will probably take a while because it's back, which is why I soaked up so much. It was the most sensible thing I've done, and I spent a lot of platinum for weapon slots that I am now sort of making back, as you can clearly see. And yeah, honestly, I really do like all these Incarnons. I think, first of all, Obex, Destreza, Ballistica, and Vectis, all four of these are absolutely amazing. They're all super powerful, and they deserve attention regardless of who you are. Just some probably deserve more attention than others, and obviously this depends on the playstyle. The Stug is a really fun Incarnon that has quirky synergies, and it's something that you can make it shine a bit more than another person if you're more creative with it. But it's just a bottom of the line or baseline Incarnon form, because obviously it's non-Incarnon version. You saw the damage, it basically deals nothing, sadly. It's still pretty cool though. I think it's still pretty cool. So yeah, that is all the Incarnon weapons. I think if you want my opinion, again, Obex and Ballistica or Vectis, depending on what you want. But definitely Obex, one of the two. And yeah, we have a new king for melee weapons. Praetos is dead. I cannot believe I'm saying this, but Praetos is actually dead. I cannot... This is kind of mind-boggling that we actually power crept Praetos this hard through another Incarnon weapon that not only gives parkour speed, but also provides, like, it provides more parkour speed already than the Praetos. So if you go any long mission, it's automatically better. But it also acts as a stat stick for your Parazon finisher permanently. Like, my god. It might unironically be worth it to pair the Prisma Obex with some other weapon that deals heavy impact damage or opens enemies to Parazon finishers easily. Like, maybe Bronco Prime with dizzying rounds, like something like that. You get what I mean. There is a lot of potential in that weapon. It's absolutely nuts, and I'm really happy about that. Thank you very much for watching another video of mine, and I will see you on the next one.